Hi, David Paul here. I thought I should make a video on what I'm doing now because I haven't been posting anything for a long while, and this is a project, and I do have to vlog it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to write about it, and I don't want to do that. Where I am now, I'm in my tent in Portugal, back home in Portugal. And why am I in a tent? This is the tent. Nice comfy life here, a nice comfy tent, and I'm getting used to this. The strange thing is, I could actually, as a lifestyle, I could actually make a go of this and just live in a tent because it's so simple. And if something goes wrong with it and something happens to the tent, you can just pop down to Decathlon, who sell the best tents, and just buy another one. So anyway, I'm not going to do that. I am going to press ahead with the real project, which is the house in Portugal and my other house, which I want to build in the Philippines when I get over there. And what I'm doing in England as well, I've been doing some strange stuff in England. I could not make any videos for about a year because I came back from the Philippines and I split up with a woman I was involved with there. It didn't work out, and it became obvious to me that she wasn't really into me much. Um, uh, yeah, that's for sure. And instead of being honest about it, as I tried to talk to her, she just let it dribble on. I think probably saw me as a meal ticket. Well, I'm trying to find a wife, not a what would you call it? A girlfriend experience or something? Well, I'm not after that. I want a wife and kids. I like that life, and it's something to work for, and it's nice to have a partner and somebody that a family that you're working for. I'm single, and I don't want to be single. I didn't want to be single, so I came out of that situation and came back to the UK broke, and it didn't matter because I was going to get a job and I could support myself and make my way back and carry on working on financing this project in Portugal. And then something bad happened because post-COVID, I had difficulty getting some paperwork in order to work that I needed. And I'll go into detail about that. And that took 6 months, and I was getting progressively more and more poor. And what I did in order to survive is I lived in a tent in the UK as well. And I have done this before, on one occasion in my life, lived in a tent when I worked in Norfolk, because the pay was so low that you just couldn't rent anywhere. And I don't want to be on social benefit systems or anything. I'd rather make my own way in the world. So applying for rent support and all that stuff, I'm not into that. Anyway, I've learned a set of off-grid kind of survival skills, and I can now do this, and I can function in the wild. I reckon I could probably even function somewhere like Alaska. There's a way into it and a way to do it. And last winter, it was absolutely horrific because we had very low temperatures. It went down to -5 degrees centigrade. We had rain. We had all sorts going on. And I didn't have enough money to pay for all of the equipment that I really should have had. You can go down to Decathlon and you can buy every damn thing that you can possibly think of to survive living in the wild. But I didn't have the money to cover it all. But slowly, I moved forward, bought warmer clothing and bed. I bought a fold-down bed and stuff. And what I did is I went and constructed what I call a stealth cabin. I located a place where I could buy pallets, and I started constructing this cabin. And there it was. It was about 8 feet by 8 feet, and it was covered with a tarpaulin, and it was under a load of thorns and everything. Nobody would ever discover it. In fact, I think it's probably still there, and I may go and check it out, see how it's going. Eventually, the idea is that if you abandon this, it will just rot away and just disappear. So you can construct these things, and then they'll just disappear if you choose not to maintain them. Take away the tarpaulin, and it'll start to rot, and it'll just go away. So it's kind of like an ice cream cone. You use the thing, and then you eat it, or in this case, you just abandon it, and nature eats it. Right, so what happened is it got worse and worse and worse and more depressing, and 6 months went on and I was getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and I couldn't pay the mortgage on my house in Portugal, and the entire project was in danger. It was in a situation where the person who was selling me the house here in Portugal could have actually turned around, cancelled the project altogether, and just and I could have lost everything. But anyway, he was a nice guy, and he didn't do that. Though I did test his patience. And anyways, I say that it was horrifically cold, and having had this issue in Portugal where I fell down a ravine in one of my previous videos, I was very scared of getting hypothermia again. I didn't want to do that, so that was the major concern, and I managed to creep through. One night was really severe. It was -5. I had to get up in the middle of the night and go down to a local garage and eat a pasty and coffee and just warm through, and then back to my tent stealth cabin thing. I had a tent inside the stealth cabin. One of the psychological effects I started having from this was that over the 6 months of no money coming in other than pensions, which would tightly squeeze the budget, I started getting sort of mental problems of panic attacks and feeling depressed, and absolutely constant panic attacks. Even in the day I would get these panic attacks, but at night I would never sleep for more than maybe, I don't know, half an hour at a time, and then I'd wake up in a state of absolute terror. I've never had anything like that in my life, and it was like somebody it's like somebody opened the gates of hell and just sort of said, go and have a look at that. Absolute terror. And you'd talk yourself out of it. And I know from watching videos about stuff like this that these attacks only last for about 20 minutes. So I would sort of say, well, this is only going to last for 20 minutes. But the problem is that it would go away. And one of the things I found that helped was to get up and walk around a bit. The trouble with that getting up and walking around a bit, it's cold. You don't want to go out there in the cold. Snow on the ground, freezing cold, -5. And then having to get warm again back in the tent. But I did do it at the most extreme situations. I did get up and walk around the forest I was in. And anyway, the panic attacks went on and on and on for months. And eventually we the it started getting lighter, as you move towards you've passed Christmas and stuff. And the days are getting slightly longer, and they started to go away. And one of the components in this is, the lack of control. And I just talked myself out of it. I wrote down my thoughts and tried to think of positive things. Each day I would write all the positive things that had happened in the day. I went back to the Philippines to finalize that relationship and, get sorted out, and you kind of get closure and that. And I wanted to try and talk to her, and she wasn't up for talking. So that was that. And now I'm on my own again, and I'm running my own thing. And I have another relationship in the Philippines, which is possibly going to kick off, or possibly not. We'll see. But she seems a different kind of person, much better person. So where do I go now? Yeah, what happened is I finally got work, and then everything just bloomed because you feed up money and you can start buying equipment. And I bought a gas stove where you could just turn the gas stove on, whereas before I was having to light fires to cook on. And then I got a kerosene stove, it was good, but it was tedious. Now I just have a gas stove I turn on, and that stealth cabin that I constructed, I had to move, so I made another stealth cabin, and I haven't made any videos on that. But when I go back to the UK, I'll make a video on that. It's a lesson to what to do if you're homeless. The situation at present is I'm here in Portugal, and I could do the appropriate paperwork and just come here, throw the towel in, and just live here. But I got some big plans about using trees and wood and all sorts of stuff. There's an unlimited amount of wood available to people if they put themselves in the right place. And you can have megalomaniac ideas about what you're going to build out of wood if you want. The world is your oyster. There's plenty of it. And if you plant it yourself, it's growing faster than you can use it. So I want to get into those ideas and try those ideas out. So I want to press on with the multiple lifestyle of the UK, Portugal and the Philippines. The UK provides money through work, and Portugal provides me with this place that is cheap, and I've got land and I can do what I want here, and I have ownership of this place, which I don't have in the Philippines. I'm not allowed to own land there. So you need a base to work on, so Portugal is the base. And I have got some land in the Philippines, which I'm all bunged up. I got a cold. Had a cold. Yeah, the Philippines, I have the land in the Philippines, which is in the name of my two daughters, so therefore I kind of, in a proxy sort of way, managed to own the land. And that's how that works. So, that's it really. It's been a 1 year horror story, but I've learned a lot. And one of the things I've learned, and we're in the middle of a crisis, a financial crisis, yet again. And the thing that I've learned is that I can actually function without the system. I know that I go to shops and supermarkets and things and buy my food, but I know that I taught myself to grow plants by that. If you look at the Garden Annalisa video I made, yeah, one of the ideas there was to grow things, learn the skill. Because if I grew a load of flowers, instead of that, I could be growing vegetables. So just learn the skill to grow things. And I would suggest that to anyone. If you want to learn how to grow vegetables and you're not in the right situation, well, just grow a load of flowers. And if you can grow flowers, you should be able to grow food. So that's that skill learned. And I've also, whilst living in the wild, I've tracked animals and figured out where they live and what I would do if I ever had to do that, what methods I would use in order to hunt things. I don't want to start hunting things. First of all, it's illegal. It's poaching. But what you can do is you can say, well, where are the deer? Where will I go? Have I seen a deer? Can I get up close to the deer such that I can shoot it? And this, that, and the other. Where are the rabbits? Where is fish to be had? And so on. And then once you've figured that all out, and you know that you can do this, the last stage is simply to kill the thing, which you don't need to do because we're not in that crisis yet. But develop the skill before it's needed. Go and build something, like make something out of wood. Go and make a dog kennel. If you can make a dog kennel, you can make a bigger kennel, like a cabin. If you can make a cabin, you've got a cabin. If you can make a cabin, you can make an extension to the cabin, or two cabins together, or more cabin, and you've made a house. So you can build a house. And you've learnt these skills. And you need to learn the skills before they're needed. And I did that. I did the cabin making stuff when I built that cabin by the Grand Union Canal, next to the boat. And my ex-wife is complaining about it and saying, why are you building this when you should be doing this, that, and then whatever. But I was learning about, not that I couldn't make a cabin, but like I wanted to do it in the most optimum way. And so that it could be maintained easily and whatever, the construction methods and everything. I wanted to work everything out so that when I went to the Philippines and I finally made a place there, I could do it. Because the Philippines, although it's a warm country, there are aspects of it which are hostile to the human body, like mosquitoes at night, for example, rain, excessive sunshine. So you do need shelter in the Philippines, even if it's the bare minimum, just for somewhere to sleep while you sort yourself out. So you still need to learn those skills to build the cabin and build the thing damn fast so that you're not staying in hotels or whatever, or find yourself in a difficult situation, especially if it starts to rain. And that's it. That's where I'm at now. So I will go and see this woman in the Philippines, meet her. I will also carry on working here. And at the minute, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm lazy because it's just such a physical life here. You just got to rest as well as work, or you have to work effectively and rest as much as you can. Because at 69, I don't feel like I want to do this all the time. And I don't even know if I wanted to do it when I was 20-year-old, this amount of work. So you know, I'm resting here, and then next I'm going to go back to working on the house. And the trajectory of jobs to do at the minute are to get the roof working, the roof fixed, and the floor, at least the floor beams in, ready for my next trip back here. And then I will flip off back to the Philippines for a month or two and start working on setting up the situation there in order to build a house on this piece of land I've got there. So now I'm going to flip the camera around. I know this is a long video, but I've never made one for a year, and it's a summary of everything I've been doing. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and I'm going to get out of here and go and take a look at the house. Flip round camera. No, the damn thing doesn't want to flip round. What the hell is going on? No, it's not happening. Okay. Terrible. I know I should do this, but I should learn editing skills, and I haven't got that yet. So what I'm going to do is I will stop this video here. Now I'll make another video, and that'll be about doing the house. So here we go. Nope, it's not happening. So let's